What's up guys, this is Alex from Boards, Bikes, and Hikes, and recently I posted a video testing out the Burton Step On boots and bindings in the comfort of my own home. And while I got a good sense for kind of how they worked, got to jib around a little bit with and see how they felt, I wanted to give them a true test to see what they actually felt like on the mountain. So my good friend Esteban let me borrow the Burton Step On bindings for the day, and I took them to Perfect North and got to put a full day on the slopes with them on. And I wanted to give my thoughts, opinions, and kind of talk about how I felt after using them for a full 8-hour day of snowboarding. Before we get started, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button and give this video a beautiful smash like button. It's going to really help me out. It's going to help me push this video out to a wider audience and hopefully get my thoughts and opinions testing these Burton Step-Ons out on my local hill out to a huge variety of people, because hint hint, I'm gonna say at a resort like where I live, like a smaller resort, I definitely think these are something that are worth looking into for sure. Now, before I go too deep into the review, I do want to say I was using my GoPro Max. I'm still learning how to use it, and unfortunately I actually only have 2 full runs in this video. I did take the Burton Step On bindings. I took them through the park, rode trails anywhere, green, blue, black. I rode some moguls. I put them through the ringer. I rode every trail open at Perfect North, the terrain park included. But unfortunately, on my videos that I took when it was in the non-360 mode, it was shooting out of the lens that was basically looking at my helmet the whole time, so the footage was worthless. So I still got 2 really good runs on here, but just know that I did take these bindings through everything Perfect North had to offer. I just lost the video footage of it, unfortunately. So, now into the review. Now, thanks to, in my previous video, there was a guy who goes by the name of Downhill Skier 7. He posted a lot of tricks and tips to help me out with the Burton Step-Ons, and it made getting in and out of them so much easier. Actually, if you watched my previous video, I struggled a little bit unclipping my foot, and with his tips, he taught me the proper kind of technique to get your boot out, and it was so easy to get used to. I never got comfortable enough to ride off the lift and clip on, but I definitely think I was capable of doing it. I never did it. But as far as getting in and out of the boot, it's so easy and simple to get used to, and it's something that I think anybody's going to be able to pick up if they get these bindings immediately. Now, one thing I didn't know for sure on these bindings was how to adjust the high backs. And if I had to say one drawback to the binding, it was the fact that I had to ride with the high backs basically set in the 0 lean position. And typically on my bindings, I like to have the lean set to a 3 or 4, somewhere in there, to give me a little bit more of an aggressive lean forward stance. And so that was one thing I had to adapt to a little bit with these. Didn't feel quite as responsive with that high back at the 0 position, but if anybody knows how to adjust the high backs on the Step-Ons, definitely let me know in the comments below, because that was literally my only gripe about them, if I had to say anything at all bad, was that I had to learn to ride them in the 0 position, which on moguls, when you're wanting to swivel from edge to edge really fast, I didn't like the way those felt. But everything else about these bindings I absolutely loved. In the park, getting out of them was easy. Getting on and off the chairlift was so much faster, and I was constantly waiting on my buddy Brandon, who was there with me that day, and every time, even though it was a given and it was cheesy, every time I'd make a joke and be like, well, still waiting on you over here. And it's so fast and efficient. And I actually that's why one of the reasons I wanted to learn how to adjust the high back is I did think it was a super responsive binding. I just wanted it to be a little bit quicker, if that makes any sense. I enjoyed the binding feel. I actually really liked the way you can pull with your toes, the way your 2 toe clips are clipped in. And they felt really good for ollies, flat terrain. I really enjoyed the binding feel, but if I can get that high back lean forward, I might be 100% sold. Especially if you're somebody who lives like I do, where your runs are super short. I could see these bindings as being extremely beneficial for somebody like that. If I hadn't just bought my brand new Travis Rice boots, I probably would have already ordered myself a set after using these just for the day. As far as the boot was concerned, the Burton Photon boot It wasn't a wide, but I still, towards the end of the day, felt like I could feel a little bit of a pressure point on my pinky toe, but nothing bad. And I honestly, truly think that after I rode these boots for a couple days and they were broken in, I might not have that at all, because they weren't an uncomfortable boot by any means. They were actually a really comfortable boot, but that was something I could feel just a smidge by, you know, the very end of the day. And I actually really liked the dual BOA system on this. It has one up high, and then it has one that basically acts as a faux ankle strap, so you still kind of have that feel of having an ankle strap from your binding, and that tightens the boot down really well. And I did enjoy these boots. The Burton Photon boot was a boot that's a little bit stiffer than what I'm accustomed to. However, after kind of adapting to it, after a good couple hours of runs in it, I actually didn't mind the stiffness at all. And all in all, I mean, like I said, I did feel a tiny little bit of a spot on my pinky toe, but I did find this boot to be extremely comfortable for the day, and I think they would be even more comfortable once they were properly broken in after a couple days on the heel, because these were a brand new boot. My buddy Esteban has yet to actually put his foot into these things, and he's letting me take these out and put them through the ringer, and I appreciate it so much. So my final thoughts would definitely be, if you live somewhere like I do, I would say buy these for sure. If you're on the fence about them, definitely see if you could find somewhere to try them out or somebody to let you try them out. But it definitely was a game changer. Like I said, if I hadn't just bought a brand new snowboard boot, I would buy these right now. And it still may be something I consider later in the end of the season, because I'm going to be honest, I've looked and they are out of stock on the step-on bindings in a lot of places right now. So, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time on the step-ons, and it did make getting on and off the board, I think, so much easier. And I definitely think, you know, the potential's there, and if you're on the fence considering it, I would say buy it if you can. I mean, I loved it, and I noticed a huge difference. Actually, we went snowboarding 2 days later, and then I was back to bending over and stuff, and I could tell, like, I don't know, it was just a nice convenience factor to not have to constantly feel like you're bending down, doing your straps up, bending down, unclip it over and over. It cuts that in half, because you're only having to bend down one time. And it just makes getting, you know, it makes it so much more enjoyable to slide straight off the lift, clip in your foot for half a second, and then you're gone and off on the run. So I really, really like the Burton Step Ons. Definitely going to be looking them into the future. If you have any questions or there's anything I left out, because I'm sure I forgot something, please post that in the comments below and I'll respond. Again, these are the Burton Step Ons. I use the Burton Photon boot. Can't really say enough good things about them, so thank you guys for watching this long, and please subscribe if you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you guys in the next one soon. Colorado's coming up in a couple days.